Series. We're gonna talk about Pluto. Pluto, honestly, I think it's a very fitting title. Alright, let's get some context. Pluto is produced by GMM TV, which is one of the biggest producers in Thailand, if not the biggest leading production house in Thailand. It's pretty good. GMM TV, or short for Grammy TV. It was founded on August 3rd, 1995. They have a lot of influence. People will watch their stuff, which means it's a big deal. The main actors in Pluto are Tipnari Weerarwatnodom and Rajanan Mahawan, who play Ayun and May. I have to say the acting very good, especially because May's character is blind, and I'm no actor, but I feel like that's very hard to do. Anyway, the actor for May does an incredible job on that. It's actually crazy. No, Thai names are very hard for me. Alright, now Pluto is not GMM TV's first GL. They already made 23.5. I don't think they made any other GLs. Editing me will verify that information. They made 23.5, which is pretty popular. So in my opinion, 23.5 was GMM TV kind of testing the water. Pluto is sort of when they're actually putting a little more and investing more into it and into making something higher quality. To give a little summary, it's the story of two twins, Ayun and Obum. One is the favorite and one is the disappointment. On the night of Obum's wedding, she requests one thing from her older sister, that Ayun pretend to be her, break up with her other lover. Ayun learns that Obum has been in a car crash. So much left unknown about the car crash. Ayun has nothing left she can do but fulfill her sister's request. However, as she meets Obum's lover, she finds herself unprepared to complete the task. I really like the premise. I think it's very cool. SGLs in Thailand are a pretty new concept. Not a lot has been done in that space, so like this type of plot has not really been touched yet. One thing that I really liked, especially in the first episode, is it's told non-linear, which means they don't unfold the story chronologically. Now, chronological storytelling is definitely not a bad thing. It's less confusing, but if you can do non-linear storytelling in a way that your audience can grasp, you can convey information in a way that's a lot more interesting, and it's like creating gaps in your story just so you can fill them in later. I also think it adds a little bit of suspense, and maybe you thought the plot would go this way, but then they show you that it goes this other way and you're like, whoa, that's crazy. And that's non-linear storytelling, and that's why it's good. Alright, deep into my thoughts. I also really like the establishment of relationships. Ayun as a character, she's the forgotten twin. She's the disappointing older sibling, and that's one, sad, so you want to root for her, and two, relatable. I mean, you want a relatable character. That also adds a really good motivation for why she feels the need to complete Obum's request. She wants to do something for her younger sister she's never really been there for. The twins never had a great relationship, which I also really like how they showed that, because in my opinion, when you're making a movie, you should show, not tell. They could have just had dialogue being like, oh hey Ayun, I hate you, I haven't seen you in a while. Instead, Ayun showing up to her wedding in casual clothing, right? Like that tells you how she feels, that tells you how they feel about each other, just in that. So I think automatically setting that up gives a relationship that needs to be unfolded, dug into. And then you add in when Ayun meets May, who is Obum's other lover. The thing I really like about May, the whole dynamic with May, is that it's not only exploring May's relationship with Ayun, it's exploring May's relationship with Obum, because May thinks Ayun is Obum. So while you're discovering things about Ayun as a character, how she treats other people, and how May treats her, you're also getting a feel for how May felt for Obum, and how Obum treated her. See what I mean by this show has depth? Within Ayun's relationship with May, there's also a level of trust. May trusts Ayun because May has known Obum for a while, and she trusts her. Ayun has no idea who this person is, and so there's areas where you can tell the trust is very one-sided, and I think that's sort of an interesting relationship thing to play with, because it definitely happens sometimes in relationships. The trust is one-sided, and you can see it's really difficult if there is not trust between two people. And it leads to this sort of like testing phase where you're like, oh, if I do this, what are they gonna do? But that's not fair. It's not fair to test people like that. It's not honest. And that's not gonna build trust. It's only gonna get rid of it. And along with that too is lying. I mean, the whole premise of this is that Ayun is lying for her sister's sake in a way. But you know it's for Ioun's too. I thought that was really sad, is that Ioun only gets treated like she's not a disappointment when she's pretending to be Obum and when she's with May. That's so sad, but it makes you understand why Ioun is struggling to tell the truth, which begs the question, are there times when it's okay to lie? Obum was lying to May. That is pretty clear to everyone, but that's not cool. But then you think about Ioun, is what she doing any different? That's why it's all kind of about like perspective. Ethics are crazy to me because in the end I feel like it's just opinion, but that's what makes it heart-wrenching, is in different circumstances. You know, Ioun would treat May better than Obum, better than anyone else, but Obum is the twin that is always thought of as the golden child, and Ioun is always thought of as a disappointment, even though when it comes to May, Ioun treats her better. Now they do explain a little bit why the title of this show is Pluto. Essentially, Pluto used to be recognized as a planet, right? Whatever science, the classifications changed. Pluto was changed from a planet to, I don't even know, a dwarf planet. It was considered the 9th planet for a long time, and then in 2006 it was reclassified as a dwarf planet. But when you think about it, Pluto didn't change. It's still exactly the same. What changed is our paradigm. And so when it comes to this show, Ioun is Ioun. She's the one taking care of May, but you know there's gonna be a paradigm shift when May finds out eventually that it's Ioun and not Obum. Nothing will change the reality, but that perspective will switch. That's something that the show did really well, is having an obvious point of tension. You know May's gonna find out. When will she find out? How will she find out? How will that affect everything? And also, what will happen when Obum wakes up? The reality of the situation isn't the problem. It's how it came to be and why those perspectives are going to change how things are looked upon. And that's not to say it's not valid. If May figures out, she's gonna be like, what the heck? But just like Pluto, the reality of what the planet is, the reality of their relationship stays the same. It's just now you're looking at it differently, with a different set of standards. I think the title was very well chosen. Pluto is still airing. I highly recommend you catch up. I'm hoping as things unravel, this may be one of the best GLs to come out. I think with a big company like GMM TV sort of finally investing in a GL, a really cool premise, I think this can be really well done and this can be one of the best ones to come out yet. I'm really excited to see how Pluto ends. I think it has just a lot of potential to be really, really cool. If you guys have been watching Pluto, I want to know what you think of it. I'm really curious to know because I genuinely think it's a big step forward. I think they're making higher quality, more intricate GL, and I think that's a very exciting thing to see. If you guys have any recommendations, please let me know in the comments. At the time I'm filming this, there's only 2 Pluto episodes out. I was worried I wouldn't have enough to yap about. It's a good series, so I think